I ain't gonna cut you off though.
All right. This is back at Isaiah chapter 3. I'm gonna start at the top, verse 12. As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to error, and destroy the way of thy path.
Right. And that's twofold, man. When they say women are talking about servants rule over us, meaning Esau, he was a natural born servant. And he said, I saw servants on horses, right? You know, the natural born servant, and Jake likes to fucking worship women.
I got it.
Look at polite and dumbass side niggas worshiping the black woman, right?
God, saying that the Most High has a womb.
Yep.
And also saying the Most High has a womb.
Right, brother.
That's woman worship also. That's why they wear the That's the worship of the fertility god, worshiping the woman.
Right, man.
Saying that the woman is God.
Yep. The motherfuckers are spiritual stillborn, still in the damn womb mentally.
Right. And just to add on real quick with Bakashaw, that ain't no different from their enemy, the so-called white man. They say that's their enemy.
Right,
they
man.
feel the same way. They say genealogy come through women as well.
Right.
You know, y'all doing the same thing.
Yep, and they worship Ishtar, you know, and the Queen of Heaven. You know, that's Esau and 2/3 of our damn people, man.
And that's why Esau likes to feminize everything, because of the worship of the woman.
That's right.
Just how recently they have an article where they trying to make male frogs have periods, man. That's abomination, man. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 10, verse 7. I have seen servants upon horses, and princes walking as servants upon the earth.
Right, man. So the true princes of God, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, the children of Yahweh, the children of Israel, have been walking as servants upon the earth. And the Lord, looking down at the earth, has seen servants upon horses. Esau riding on the horse. The flag of what's that state near Polk County? Lake City. The flag of Lake City has an Edomite on a horse, and a Jake has a slave next to it, like this. That's on their flag, and they have debates. They had debates over getting rid of that flag. All right, and every time I hear that scripture, that brings out my mind. I keep seeing that in my mind. You know, them leading us into slavery. And even in these times, you see Esau in a leadership or high-ranking position, and you see Jake in a low position, man. You go out to your jobs, who your boss all the time? Esau. Either that or a black woman. Or a Chinese person. You know? If it's a black man, he's usually not there long, or the business fails or something.
Or he an Uncle Tom asshole.
Oh yeah, Uncle Tom, straight up asshole.
You might as well have a matter of fact, I'd rather have Esau than have a black dude as a supervisor, man.
Right. Go ahead, brother. Isaiah, what was that? Job? Yeah.
Job, chapter 30, verse 1.
Right, because the so-called white man, Esau, they always speak about caveman. You know, what'd you say? Evolution. Well, they never evolved. They still in the cave. They still cave people that just got free.
What was that cartoon, Captain Caveman?
Yeah, Captain Caveman!
Everything from that movie.
Yeah, man, you gotta watch that movie called Caveman too. That's a good movie.
Alright, this is Job chapter 30, verse 1.
Right, this y'all Esau, the so-called white man. Before y'all put on your business suits and your rope around your neck and shave your damn cattle hair off. Go ahead.
But now they that are younger than I have me in derision.
Right. Now is Esau younger than Jacob? No. What it's talking about is spiritually. Alright, go ahead. It's talking about Esau. That's why he said the children rule over thee. Go ahead.
Whose fathers I would have disdained to have set with the dogs of my flock.
Right. So Job was saying that Esau, you don't even want him sleeping around your dog, because why are you going to have sex with it? What was that cop? It was a police officer the other day. It's going around social media saying he had sex with like, what, 6 animals? A police officer.
On top of that, Canada passed a bill where bestiality is legal.
Yeah, look at that, man.
A few states here in America passed that law.
So you think that would happen if Jake was in power? Even if wicked Jake was in power? That wouldn't happen, man.
Yeah, even wicked Jake will draw a line somewhere.
Somewhere. You know? That's talking about you, so Caucasian. Esau, go ahead.
Alright, it says,
real quick, guys.
This is Leviticus chapter 18, verse 23. Neither shalt thou lie with any beast to defile thyself therewith. Neither shall any woman stand before a beast to lie down thereto.
Right, don't be getting popped by horses, you know?
It is confusion.
It is confusion to say doggy style, you really go fuck a dog. You know? So these laws come from what you call black people. These are Israelites. You know, those are our laws to not have sex with animals. You know? So your laws in your society, like the brother said, you making laws towards bestiality and homosexuality and perversions and shit. LGBT movements, now they got the what? The pedophilia, and they're gonna add in the bestiality now. P and the B. These stand for peanut butter. Peanut butter.
That's so disgusting.
That's stand for popping beef. Can't wear the Tom and Jerry shirt no more.
Oh, and just to go back to when we were at the other location, and the brother brought out the scripture talking about the study of the past of old, right? And then her response was, "But we're living in the 2000s now."
Yeah, you gotta follow the modern time.
The modern times is bestiality, pedophilia.
Yeah,
all right, the so-called white man ruling. Who wants to live in those times?
Jake.
Jake. Yeah.
That's our nigga, though.
Yeah.
You want to build a community, you know? Let's keep going with this. All right.
It says.
So this is your original state of being. We were just talking about that before we started camp again. In the kingdom, when the men of the Lord walk into the room, Esau gonna scatter like roaches. You know, like a bunch of retarded, scared. What's up, brother? Like a bunch of retarded, scared. Forrest Gumps or LD. You know, literally the thing.
Where does the scripture say one shall take 1,000 to flight? Something like that, roughly paraphrase.
There you go. On a daily basis. As soon as you can be asleep. As soon as you go like this, they gonna break.
Got like roaches when you cut the lights on.
They go making that little cave.
Yeah, they go. That's why we wanted to bring this out, because you're gonna go back to mumbling and grunting again. And you're already doing that. The Lord set you on that course with something called Babel. You even got speaking apps that they have out called Babel that teach you different languages today. So all these languages stem from Babel, which is confusion. And to speak the English language, going back to Old English, all of today's terms, they've moved from Old English, clear English, what they call the King's English, all the way to alphabets, meaning A, B, C, liquors. You know, symbolism. They don't even say words no more. It's just letters. You know, and they got the mumble rap.
NAACP.
NAACP.
These KKK.
These are not words. You know what I mean? So this is their terminology in their court system. When you read it, they got all these damn letters. So they moved on to a state of mumbling, bestiality type of lingo. You know? Go ahead, brother.
And thus today we got mumble rap. Anyway.
Yeah.
This
a low vibration, man.
Job 30:2, it says, "Yea, whereto might the strength of their hands profit me, and whom old age was perished."
Right, and whom old age, Esau was perished in old age, living in the caves and shit. All right, but now they boast in themselves, lifted up because of the fat of their riches. Go ahead.
"For want and famine they are solitary, flying into the wilderness in former time desolate and waste.
Go ahead.
Who cut up mallows by the bushes."
Yeah, this Esau, man. This is what they did. When they were chasing to them caves, when they was living in Edom, or what you call Petra, this is what they were doing. All right, go ahead.
It says,
this is ruling over you right now. This is trumping them.
And juniper roots for their meat.
Right, go ahead.
For they were driven forth from among men.
They were driven forth from among men. They were driven into the caves. Go ahead.
Oh, Connor, and a real quick interjection. One of the Apostle Gabar brought out one time, a long time ago, how basically talking about how going against the Holocaust, basically talking about how the millions of Jews that died, they died from a disease called typhus. And they were kicked out of like several different countries because they brought forth disease and plagues and confusion at every land that they went to, and they had got exiled out of many different countries, man, before they ended up in Israel.
That's them Khazars, them Edomites.
It says,
and they have to be set up as sovereign there through America, their buddy, the great whore. Go ahead.
All right. It says, Job 30:5. They were driven forth from among men.
Right, they're going to be driven forth from among men again. And then they're going to be driven forth from among this damn earth, from existence someday.
They cried after them as after a thief.
Yeah, see, everybody going to chase them out. He said, Lucifer, son of the morning, I'm going to chase you around the goddamn earth. Chase them out as a thief, right? Go ahead. The scriptures say the Lord going to send his chariots into the house of the thief. All right, Esau, go ahead.
To dwell in the cliffs of the valley.
Oh, they dwell in the clefts of the valleys, right? In the clefts of the rocks. And these are turtle doves, man. This is spiritual. You know? People need to pay more attention to turtle doves. Yeah, a lot of these are around in Jerusalem. We will use a lot of these for sacrifice. And this, one of the sacrifices for to cleanse your house from leprosy, you'll take one turtle dove and another one. You'll take one of them and kill it and pour the blood of it on the sanctuary, on the house, and then the other one you'll take and keep it safe. And that's to represent the sacrifice that Yahweh did for us. To cleanse.
We don't even have no bread or nothing.
Right, to cleanse our house. We got bread. We got the word.
My bad.
The doctrine is the bread. Come on, let's go. I just want to get this part.
All right, okay. All right, Job 30:6. To dwell in the cliffs of the valley.
Right, that's where you get your caveman. The so-called white man used to dwell in the caves, the clefts of the rock. That's where you get the word Caucasian from. Cave dweller. Go ahead.
In caves of the earth and in the rocks.
Booga booga.
Among the bushes, they braid under.
Wait, you gotta say that part again. Say braid. Read that part again.
Among the bushes. Oh,
yeah.
The caves.
7.
All right. It says among the bushes they braid.
Right.
Under the needles they were gathered together.
Right. They were grunting.
Yeah, that's the scripture right.
That's what braid means.
Yeah.
Damn, I didn't even know that.
Like cavemen. Go ahead.
They were children of fools. They children of base men.
Oh, children of base men. And those base men is talking about the Edomite race that the Lord raised up all the way up into being the Luciferians, the high exalted ones upon this earth through their riches and their secrecy. All right, go ahead. The rulers of the world, Job 9:24.
They were viler than the earth.
They're viler than the beasts of the earth. See that? You can trust that. You can probably trust the pig more than you can trust the pig.
This is Obadiah chapter 1. I'm going to start at verse 3.
Right, I can trust a pig because a pig is going to try to conquer my people.
It says, the pride of thy heart hath deceived thee.
Right, Esau.
Thou that dwellest in the cliffs of the rocks.
Oh, Esau. That's how you go back where it said Esau.
God. You want me to start from the top?
Yeah, so we know who it's talking about, so they can't get away from it.
This is Obadiah chapter 1, verse 1. Right. The vision of Obadiah, thus saith the Lord God, considering Edom. We have heard a rumor from the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, and an ambassador is sent amongst the heathen. Arise ye and let us rise up against her in battle.
Right, they're talking about Esau, man, not the Arabs. All right, go ahead.
It says, behold, I have made thee small amongst the heathen, thou art greatly despised.
They're a small nation amongst these other nations. Even amongst us, they're a small-ass nation, but they're spread out around the four corners of the earth. Every nation you go to, you're going to see Esau. So you're going to run into white supremacy. All right, go ahead.
It says, the pride of thy heart have deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the cliffs of the rocks, whose habitation is high.
That's right, man. So they put their habitation on high, man. All right, go ahead.
This is Jeremiah 49:13. For I have sworn by myself, saith the Lord, that Basra shall become a desolation, a reproach, and a waste, and a curse, and all the cities thereof shall be a perpetual waste. I have heard a rumor from the Lord, an ambassador is sent unto the heathen.
Right, Basra is over there talking about Edom. Go ahead.
saying, Gather ye together and come against her, and rise up to battle. For lo, I will make thee small among the heathen, and despised among men.
Can't get away from it, Esau. That's twice. That's twice the cock crew. Ain't that what they say?
This crew.
Go ahead. We ain't gonna start saying that like
Thy terribleness hath deceived thee, and the pride of thy heart, O thou that dwellest in the cleft of the rock, that holdest the high of the hill, though thou shouldest make thy nest as high as the eagle, I will bring thee down from thence, saith the Lord.
Hey, so who's the one calling themselves God, painting pictures of themselves as the Lord? Caesar bullshit. That's Esau. You know? You got Buddha, but they call themselves just that, Buddha. Part of their bullshit. Moab bullshit. What they call that? What they into? Buddhism. They on that. But dealing with our book, being an Israelite, a Jew, y'all taking the image of the Lord and changed it to a devil. See that? It changed the doctrine of calling yourselves true people when y'all really the devils that the Bible speaks of. The Lord calls you the devil.
I got a quick reset. I got to put something.
Go ahead, brother.
All right, this is
Ezekiel 7 and 21. And I will give it into the hands of strangers for a prey, to the wicked of the earth for a spoil. Some of Israel. And they shall pollute it.
Right.
My face will I turn also from them, and they shall pollute my secret place, for the robbers shall enter into it and defile it. Make a chain, for the land is full of bloody crimes, the city is full of violence. Wherefore I will bring the worst of the heathen, and they shall possess their houses, and I will also make the pomp of the strong to cease, and the holy places shall be defiled.
Right. So that's talking about what? The land of Jerusalem was destroyed in 586, and also in 70 AD. These goddamn Edomites. He said the worst of the heathen. You know, more subtle than any beast of the field. Alright? And subtleness is compared to wickedness. The serpent. You know? Any points you want to speak on?
Because Esau is the devil. He is the deceiver that's on the earth that have deceived the whole world, man. Portraying himself as he is God and saying that in his heart that there's no God, man. Alright, they are a bunch of hypocrites and devils, man.
There you go. Yeah, I forgot my point, yeah. And they're the only ones that exalt themselves as God. They call themselves God. They call themselves the men of the Lord, the children of God.
Wow.
You know, what else? They exalt themselves militarily, financially. They exalted themselves up to what's called a satellite, so they can have eyes everywhere. And that's in the scriptures as well. Daniel chapter 7. They say full of eyes. I think it's 7 and the fourth kingdom.
Alright. This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 verse 4. Who opposeth and exalted himself above all that is called God, or that is worship.
Who's done that? That's Esau, man. There you go again. Starting with the dragon, on to the beast, and ultimately America. Alright? Which are all beasts, really. But go ahead.
So that he, as God, sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God.
Right. They even over there in Jerusalem today in our land, calling themselves Israelites, putting up images. Look at this devil. We see him again. Look, he can't get away from it, boy.
Holy shit.
Can't get over it. Can't get under this one.
What is it you all think about people like me?
I don't know. We don't know you.
Are you trying to get to know me?
Maybe. We didn't get a chance to. You just walk by and say, holy shit. That's it.
I mean, you know, y'all talking about slavery and stuff like
Yeah.
that. I own a slave, brother.
Huh?
Ever in my life. I don't want to own a slave. I want to let that shit die.
Hey, but we can't let it die until y'all gone. Y'all gotta go first.
Try.
You gotta hang yourself first. You hang yourself, then I'll be happy.
No thanks.
Well, I'm not happy then. Well, I'm not gonna be happy.
But hanging one of y'all is not about to do this,
Well, fine.
He's gonna have a miserable rest of the day. Kind of laughing like how about Shimmy?
This is Isaiah chapter 14, verse 21. Prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquities of their fathers.
He hates what his forefathers did. Sorry about that. He hates what his forefathers have done, man. He said, I don't want to think about that. Well, hey, we are the descendants of those same forefathers that y'all tormented.
God.
So how can you get mad at, you can't kill the messenger and say, shut the fuck up. He said, hey, holy shit, we just a pile of shit that you can't step over.
God.
Go ahead, bro. And that shit that's on you, you can't get that stain off you. You goddamn devils. You can't get that stench off you, a death, and you can't get that doodle off you.
Like going to the lesson you had, they gotta wear the jacket.
They gotta wear that jacket. They gotta wear that shit.
Jacket. Yeah,
they gotta have to wear that shit like a goddamn straight jacket, man.
God.
That's their garment. Yep. He don't want to wear it. He don't like the coat his foreparents got for him. Esau got for him.
Just like the coat that Joseph had, that Jacob made for Joseph to wear.
Yeah.
Right. So he got to wear that. We got a colorful coat to put on, but they got the coat of stench that they got to wear.
Yeah, doodoo's coat, the doodoo jacket, and he don't want to wear the blessing of Esau. The blessing of Esau is to rule the earth with the sword and ultimately lead it to be destroyed as a reward of that. And he don't want to wear that. He want to forget that shit. Go ahead.
It says, I'm starting at the top again. It says, prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquities of their fathers.
Right. That's what the angels saying. That's what the Lord is saying to the angels. Ultimately to bring about the destruction on their damn descendants.
That they do not rise nor possess the land nor fill the faces of the world with cities.
Right. So who gives a damn what he's talking about? It was Edomites like him walking around back then when they was hanging us. I forget what they say, man. No action is the same thing as being involved. I got another precept.
That's true. But it's like,
no, good.
Like the brother just said, no action is like the same thing as being involved. You know what I'm saying? That's just like with the police, you know what I'm saying, with the judicial system today. You know what I'm saying? You guilty by association just by being there.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? Because if he say, oh, he never owned the slave, shit, you ain't revolt and try to get the other Edomites from not trying to own slaves or none of that. All right, so he just guilty by association just as well.
And just like, because the Most High is the author of a perfect balance. Because look at the prophets in the Bible, right? Even though they weren't doing any wrong, they're still following the ways of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. They still had to be a part of that punishment because they were still part of Israel.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So they couldn't say, yeah, Lord, I'm not doing this. I'm not. He's like, but I got to punish all of Israel.
Hey, come on. No servant is greater than his master.
Exactly.
So Esau got to go through the same shit that they forefathers went through. They got to solve all them same questions. Come on.
And the Most High will not acquit the wicked.
Hey, Esau, I hate to see you in court. Who the fuck brought him here, man?
This is Revelation chapter 11. I'm going to start at verse 10. It says, and they that dwelleth upon the earth shall rejoice over them and make merry and shall send gifts one to another because these two prophets tormented them that dwell on the earth.
Right, man. And they did that with slavery. Even with your Christmas, once again, the creation of Christmas with Sinterklaas, trading gifts, enslaving Jake, what do you call it? Postcards, gator bait,
and then they had another
Wall Street.
Well, we were first items on Wall Street.
Yeah.
And another thing, there was another thing they used to do as far as the whole Christmas celebration. They would let the slaves be free, right, for one night, right? Get wild drunk, give them gifts just to kill them the next morning.
And
that's where your Christmas comes from, man.
And not only that, they had zoos. They had zoos. They had Gad and zoos. All right, they had made zoos for Gads and put them on a reservation. All right, they did the same thing to all the tribes on the children of Israel, man, to our people, man. So they have to be repaid back, man.
That's right.
All right. Because the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushai come with the big payback, man.
Right. And